Hey everyone, Sean Joel here from Elevation Leaders, where we help you 10x your business valuation. Going to speak to you today about a subject that I'm very passionate about, how to build a world-class company culture. I end up coaching a lot of businesses, and a lot of times this subject does come up, especially in 2025, when people care deeply about how their employers take care of them, what kind of benefits they're offering, what is it that they're getting when they go to a company. And so when I coach companies, I always tell them, are you truly committing to building a world-class company culture? Because it's going to take a lot of time and it's going to take a lot of work. So are you really going to commit yourself and take the steps necessary? So I'm going to take you through a little bit of the key structure I believe needs to be put in place if you actually want to start working towards building a world-class company culture. Step number one, I got this idea from Reed Hastings over at Netflix. If you read his book, No Rules Rules, there's other companies doing this as well, but they've come together and put together a very strong product internally that they call their Netflix Culture Book. You can actually download this culture book online. Okay, you just go online, type in Netflix Culture Book. You're gonna get a 128-page PDF that will come out that you'll be able to download. Now, I'll tell you right now, it ain't sexy. It's nothing pretty to look at, and that's by design. So when Reed and his team put this culture book together, they wanted to have a blueprint that every single employee, including potential future employees, could look at and say, okay, I know exactly how Netflix runs as a business. And so in this culture book, yes, they talk about their values and go into detail with them, but they'll also talk about their principles. They'll also talk about their philosophy of business. They'll explain that adequate performance equals a generous severance package, because they're not looking for adequate performers, they're looking for high performance. They also speak about in this culture book that they are not a family, they are a team, because in family, you're gonna accept a lot of mistakes and potentially, a lot of issues, whereas in a team, especially a high-performing team, there's much less tolerance for that. So all of these ideas come together within this culture book. When I ask my clients, what is your culture book? I'll often be handed an employee handbook. These are very different. An employee handbook is going to have a lot of guidelines with security measures and things against harassment. Those are all very important, but it's not going to actually truly define the culture of the business and what is expected of that individual. So number one, try to define your culture, create a culture book for your business. I think that's really important. You can even do this departmentally if you like. The second thing is the way you view players in your business. We like to call them promoters. How are you hiring these individuals? How is your recruitment process based and geared toward these individuals? What we see in most companies is that one top level performer will replace three average performers. So a top level performer is typically going to replace about three average players in a team. And so it's really interesting. Most, companies I speak with are always afraid of hiring higher level talent. They're afraid of spending that extra money, but a lot of times they're not going to spend 3 times more. They may spend 30% more. But if you think in relation to the amount of productivity, the amount of incredible engagement and buy-in you will get from this high performer, who really believes in your culture and values, but is also very productive, you're gonna go get so much exponential benefit that's gonna equal at least 3 times, and you could have paid them that, which you won't be paying them that anyway, but don't be afraid to pay a little bit more for the top talent in the marketplace. This doesn't apply to every single role. When you have frontline employees, you have people doing very mundane tasks, which, there are some different roles like that in different companies. You don't have to have that same necessary philosophy, but you do want to have that philosophy if you really want to build that world-class company culture. And a promoter for you may be different than a promoter from another team. I like to give the analogy of, sports teams, where one sports team will get rid of an individual, and that athlete will now go to a new team and be a very high performer in that new system with that new coach, the new leadership. So it doesn't mean that the same A player in one company is going to be the same A player in another business. So keep that in mind for when you're looking for that. And then number 3, I really encourage you to think about is what your global compensation package is going to look like. Nowadays, it's not enough to just offer a salary, a bonus, vacation. Those are table stakes. You got to push things way further. What are you offering for personal and professional development, certifications, training, mental health, well-being, and flexibility from home? All these different things have to be included in your company culture, again, to the way you want to do it and to the way you want to offer it to your people. You also want to have leadership development programs and give people an opportunity to participate. One of the tricks I've talked about in the past is instead of having a social committee, I encourage companies to have an employee experience committee, where that committee is taking care of the entire employee experience for all the members of their team, which becomes really fascinating and interesting as well. So taking all these factors into account, build your culture book, try to bring in the absolute best talent possible, and really focus on your global compensation package and what is it that you're offering as a company. Those are 3 of the most primary steps you need to start living and breathing a world-class company culture. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please do share it with others and reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks, and have a great day.